It's week 6. Let's go ahead and get into this football. What's up, world? My name is Shira Duncan, and I'm here to introduce to you my show, Pass Interference. It's an NFL talk show with a little bit of twist, and ladies, I'm doing this for us. Every week, I'm going to talk about the world of football, the highs, the lows, the ins and outs, as well as a little treat for you, the Fantasy Football Husband of the Week. We're going to see the man behind the number. And every week, I'm going to teach you a lesson in football, from penalties, offsides, safety, you name it. So check me out every Wednesday. All right, Thursday night's game, Philadelphia Eagles at Carolina Panthers. 28-23, Philadelphia Eagles pulled it out. Carson Wentz had 222 yards, 1 touchdown. Cam Newton had 239 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. That gets you every time, especially when you get an interception at the wrong time. Close game. Eagles had 11 penalties to Carolina's 1-2. So they definitely were making some mistakes on the field, but as you can see, they prevailed and got the win. Moving on to Sunday. Now again, the byes this week are going to be the Cowboys, Bengals, Bills, and the Seahawks. So we're not even going to talk about them, not even going to touch on them, but we're going to touch on the teams that we didn't talk about last week. Right. Chicago Bears at Baltimore Ravens, 27-24. Big T had 113 yards with 1 touchdown. Flacco had 180 yards, no touchdowns. But let's talk about the Bears defense. They forced a lot of turnovers, which helped to get them on the board. Baltimore had a big fourth quarter, however, but Chicago pulled it out in overtime with a field goal. All right, moving on to Cleveland Browns at Houston Texans, 33-17. Houston pulled it out. You definitely can see a weak spot in their defense, not having J.J. Watt, but that doesn't matter because they have Deshaun Watson, who's doing his damn thing. 225 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have an interception, but not as many as Hogan did, okay? 140 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. That defense may be losing a little bit, but not too much because they pulled it out at the end, okay? Minnesota Vikings at Green Bay Packers, 23-10. Minnesota pulled it out. Now Green Bay lost their quarterback Aaron Rodgers to a season-ending injury. He broke his collarbone. He will be gone for the season. And Huntley tried to come in there, do what he could do. 1 touchdown, 157 yards, but 3 interceptions. I feel like Minnesota took advantage of the lack of their quarterback, and the defense just definitely stepped it up. Keenum had 239 yards, 1 touchdown with 1 interception. They definitely came out to win this ball game. They took advantage of Aaron Rodgers being injured, and not having that leader on the field definitely showed, okay? Moving on to Detroit Lions at New Orleans Saints, 52-38. Now, the Saints were on a bye last week, and I don't know what they talked about or what they did, but they did it right. They came back, and they came back to whoop some ass. Let's just put it that way. Stafford had 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. However, he had 3 interceptions. New Orleans defense was not playing any games. They came out electric, ready to go, and ready to get into his face and cause some turnovers, so that's what they did. Drew Brees had 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions as well. So, I mean, kind of one of those things. Now, if you didn't know, I'm telling you right now, Adrian Peterson was running back for the New Orleans Saints, but last week there was some trade things going on, and now he's with the Arizona Cardinals, but we'll talk about that later. However, Ingram, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, bossing up. That's exactly what he did. Boss mode, beast mode, whatever you want to call it. He ran all over the field, made some things happen, made some great plays happen, put points on the board, and that's all you can ask for. Miami Dolphins at Atlanta Falcons, 2017. Miami pulled it out. Now, Atlanta came off a bye. You would think that they would be refreshed, ready to go at home, win this football game against the Dolphins, which was 2-2. But no, they didn't. They did not finish. They lost their steam in the second half, which they do all the time, and they had no gas left in the fourth quarter. Happens every time with the Falcons. It's very disappointing. Ryan had 248 yards, 1 touchdown. Jake Cutler had 151 yards with 2 touchdowns, and they both threw interceptions, but the Dolphins made it work for them more than the Falcons did. Now, Devontae Freeman did what he could do, 68 yards. He definitely made some moves up the field, trying to get them in great positions to score. However, we didn't finish. Now, Julio Jones is back, 72 yards. Julio does what he does, and he makes things happen, but again, it's just not enough. Very frustrating for the Atlanta Falcons. losing to the Miami Dolphins at home after a bye. I mean, I don't even know what to say, but damn you. Get it together, Falcons. You just were at the Super Bowl, and now you're losing to the Dolphins? I'm just saying. Moving on. New England Patriots at New York Jets, 24-17. New England pulled it out. Now, Brady had 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. McGowan had 354 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, the defense for the Patriots, they're always stellar. I mean, they definitely have some holes, but they always figure it out. Now, there was a call on the goal line for the Jets. It looked like it was a touchdown. Ended up being called back as a touchback because it looked like he lost control of the ball. It's kind of up in the air. I definitely get where the officials are coming from at that, but it's kind of hard to tell. If you were watching that game, it looked like a touchdown. It looked like he regained control of the ball, but the refs have a better eyes than we do, so they definitely didn't get that touchdown. I believe if the Jets would have got the touchdown, they would have beat the Patriots, but that's what happens any given Sunday. All right, moving on to San Francisco 49ers at the Washington Redskins. Now, they were on a bye, 26-24. They pulled it out. Now, I really believe Kirk Cousins is trying to get this franchise quarterback forever with the Redskins. I don't know if you heard about that in the offseason, but he doesn't want to go nowhere. This is where he wants to be. This is where he wants to retire. So he's trying to show the owners, the coaches, everybody, you want to keep me around. And he's doing his thing. You know, he had about 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, it was definitely just a fight. Fight of the defenses, fight of the offenses. As you see, it's a close game. It went down to the wire. The 2-point game says a lot. So I definitely will keep an eye on Washington. They're definitely trying to make a name for themselves this season, but we'll see. Moving on to Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Arizona Cardinals, 38-33. Arizona pulled it out. Now, I have been a fan of Tampa Bay this year. This has been like my sleeper team. I've been talking about it. Look for Tampa Bay. They're going to be different, whatever. Well, they looked kind of sorry coming out Sunday. 31-0 was the score in the third quarter. They didn't put up any points in the first half. Winston got hurt. Looks like his AC joint, which is in his throwing arm. I have to do more research on that, but I know that's what the injury is with his throwing arm. So, however, Fitzgerald came in, 138 yards. He did what he had to do. I mean, they definitely put some points on the board in the fourth quarter, but not enough. The thing that gets me the most is how these teams wait until the end. Now, I'm all about fighting till the end, but sometimes, no matter how hard you fight, and depending on the score, I mean, you're trying 33-38. I mean, 33 points. They got 33 points in the second half alone, which means they definitely could have won this football game, but Arizona pulled it out. Fitzgerald had a wonderful game, 138 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, he'll catch anything you throw at him is how I feel. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's just going to keep doing it. But however, I'm not counting out Tampa Bay yet. Still, we're talking about week 6. We still got a lot more football to go, so we'll just go ahead and wait and see. LA Rams at Jacksonville Jaguars, 27-17. Now, the Rams are ramming it up. Looking good, looking great. This season looks way better than it did last season. Jared Goff has a lot more weapons to get the ball to, and you can definitely tell. Well, at the beginning of this game, Cooper opens up. Kickoff, 103 yards, in for the touchdown. Then like the first 45 seconds of the game, let's go. Let's get the momentum in our corner. Might as well, we're away, let's beat them at home, and that's exactly what they did. Now, however, Jacksonville turned around, they got a touchdown as well on their first drive, but it just wasn't enough. Now, Jared Goff had 124 yards, 1 touchdown. Bortles had 241 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, I love the Rams this year. They're definitely looking like a different football team. I understand why you got Goff now. If you continue to get him weapons and coaching him the way you are, you guys can go far. Pittsburgh Steelers at Kansas City Chiefs, 19-13. Defensive-driven game. The steel curtain came out to show the Chiefs that they're still here. They still are a defense to be reckoned with, and they did that. Now, their rookie running back Hunt had 5 carries, 89 yards. I mean, he's been running all over the field, all over the teams before that he hit the Steelers. And again, he hit that curtain. They gave him 1 good hit. I know that you saw that, kind of had him sitting on the sidelines thinking about life and thinking about the decisions that he's made. Not just playing, but just welcome to the NFL. I think that was a welcoming gift that the Pittsburgh Steelers decided to give to them, okay? Roethlisberger had 252 yards, 1 touchdown. Alex Smith had 246 yards, with 1 touchdown. Now, Bell had 179 yards with 1 touchdown, and Antonio Brown had 8 carries, 155 yards with 1 touchdown. I mean, all together, the Pittsburgh Steelers look like a great football team, and I feel like one of the missions, like I said last week, is to beat the Chiefs, and that's what they did. That's a veteran football team. They know how to win games, they know how to pull it together, and they definitely did. The Steel Curtain looks good, so we'll see how they are going to continue to keep that momentum, keep that intensity through the rest of the season. Okay, the LA Chargers at Oakland Raiders, 17-16. Again, listen to this score, 17-16. That is 8 points. They lost by 8 points. You want to know why they lost by 8 points? Because they missed their extra point. The kicker missed the extra point after the touchdown. This game could have definitely gone into overtime, but they were one up, literally, on the Oakland Raiders. Derek Carr coming back after his injury with 171 yards, 1 touchdown. Rivers had 268 yards with 1 touchdown. Now their running back had 67 yards. Marshawn Lynch, 63 yards. I mean, I think I'm not the only one. I think a lot of football fans are expecting Beast Mode to be just that, Beast Mode. But to be honest, and to be a Raiders fan, he's not showing me anything. And definitely taking a year off from football is really starting to show. He had that 1 stellar game against the Jets, but he really hasn't done too much. I mean, 63 yards is good. It's not necessarily bad, but I, as a Raiders fan, and I think a lot of other fans, were expecting him to do way more than he's doing. Now, the offensive line is shaky. He's definitely not getting the holes that he needs to beast mode it out, I guess you could put it that way. But at the end of the day, thought you were going to do something. Still a lot of time left. Still changes to be made. Haven't had a bye yet. Maybe that bye week is necessary so they can get that momentum up, but we'll just go ahead and keep a look at it. All right, Sunday night's game was the New York Giants at Denver Broncos, okay? 23-10. They got their first W. Good for the Giants. They needed that. They need to get a win underneath their belt moving forward. It kind of sucks to be 0-5, but not anymore. They beat the Denver Broncos. Now, Manning had 128 yards, 1 touchdown. And Simeon had 376 yards. Not bad. 1 touchdown. He was intercepted 2 times. Now, there's a lot of injuries on the Denver's defense, and you can definitely see that on Sunday. But the New York Giants defense, which they have been known to have a good defense, definitely stepped it up, definitely did some things. I'm happy for the Giants to get that win. Moving forward, we'll see. Now, week 6, everything that's gone on, football-wise, like, it's wide open. This year is wide open. I really feel like it's not going to be your usual teams all the way in the postseason, however, even in the Super Bowl. But again, about week 8, I'm going to start making those kind of judgment calls because it's too early to tell. Injuries and everything like that, I think I know. And then every week, I'm like, I don't know. So I'm not even going to sit up here and embarrass myself to y'all. So I'm just going to go ahead and wait it out a little bit. About week 8, we'll be able to see a little bit more. We're getting towards the middle-ish, latter part of regular season, so we'll go from there. Monday Night Football, Indianapolis Colts at Tennessee Titans. Score was 36-22. Tennessee Titans pulled it out. Now the Colts came out on fire, definitely putting points on the board. First half, they dominated. Now Mariota's coming off a hamstring injury. However, he had 306 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, that week off, resting, definitely did something for him. Now they had a big fourth quarter, 21 points. They were like, we're not losing today. We're not going to do it. We're at home. We're going to make it happen. And that's exactly what they did. Now, Brissett had 212 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, he is no Andrew Luck. We know this. We all know this. But he is definitely putting forth a good effort. And he is trying to lead this football team. And I'm quite proud of him. I'm sure the coaching staff is. And if you're a Colts fan, I'm sure you're proud of him too. I mean, sometimes you just can't finish, or there's just some disconnects and whatever it is, however it happens. But Tennessee being at home, having the energy, having the fans, having their quarterback back, they definitely wanted the win, and they got the win. 36-22. All right, on this week's Stop the Cleats, I'm going to the kickers. What is going on? Now, of course, me being a Raiders fan, as you openly know, I'm mad as hell. I'm mad as hell that we missed that extra point. That extra point cost us the game. There was other teams this week missing field goals, missing extra points. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Now, this has been going on probably the last couple years with the kickers. I believe that when you are in practice, you kick the ball a lot of times. I understand the pressure. I understand icing the kicker. I understand there's all these strategic things that could happen. But when you miss an extra point, that is some bull. And I need you to stop the cleats and get it together. Now it's time for my favorite segment, which is the Fantasy Football Husband of the Week. Now I got me a nice little young one this week. He's still a little wet behind the ears, but it doesn't matter. He is gorgeous. And I am talking about you, Dak Prescott, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, number 4. He's 6'2". His birthday's July 29th. He's a baby. He's 24 years old, but he's all man to me. Now, if you want to take a look at these pictures that I have provided for you, you can see how gorgeous he is, and he's going to be a great quarterback. So this week, shouts out to you, Mr. Dak Prescott. Now it's time for our lesson of the week. This week's lesson is going to be holding. You're going to see holding happen almost every game. It's one of those penalties that always gets called. Now, the definition of holding is the illegal restraining of another player who is not in possession of the ball. A lot of times when this happens on offense, it can be detrimental. Let me tell you a story. Quarterback gets the ball, hands off to the running back. Running back finds a hole, runs for about 20 yards, gets him into red zone. Flags all over the field. Next thing you know, the ref comes, holding on offense. Somebody on the offensive line was holding somebody on the defensive line, and now that's a 10-yard penalty. So if they were at the 20, say the line of scrimmage, they were at the 40, they're going to have to go back to the 50. Now they're further away from their goal, and they're further away from making a touchdown. So a holding call can definitely cause a lot of things to happen in the game, and sometimes that call can change the momentum of the game, and it can determine a win or a loss. Well, that's going to do it for week 6. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Come check me out every Wednesday while we talk about the crazy world of the NFL. I'll see you next week. Defense kind of showed up, but it wasn't there. Okay, we're going to start over again. I lost my mojo. My mojo. Not my mojo. I'll do it again.
Do it one more time. But the same thing.
But the same thing. Okay, Dave. But that's it's like bye week. So your bye week means you don't play.
I thought you meant they were like selling teammates.
No.
Okay.
No. They're just no. I'm just mad as hell about that. That was my team.
That was your team.
That was my team.
Yeah.
We could at least went into overtime. But no, you want to miss the extra point? The extra point? It's bull.
Yeah.
All right. When I was doing that, I was like, he's 24.
24.
He's a baby.
He's still away.
He's just a baby. Oh, Lord. Oh, football, how I love thee.